Turn back time with the ultimate nostalgic event of the summer, Mishawaka RetroFest. Dan is joining us from the band The 1985 with some more super rad information on what's coming up. Dan, you look totally tubular.
I am. You know, I go for kind of subtle is what we try to for, and just try to blend in with most everybody.
Sort of just everyday 80s.
Because this is what we exactly wore back in the 80s. It was exactly this.
Every single day, just walking down the street, this is what you're going to see.
Yeah, now this is what you would have seen. No, it didn't happen this way. But we like to just go big or go home, I guess is what they say. So,
yeah, so with this very particular look, what was the inspiration for having this kind of style with the 1985?
Well, I think, so the 1985 got started about 5 years ago. And we had I think the idea was there were a lot of 80s bands that were out there that were like kind of a hard rock metal style. And we are different than that. We're more of we kind of play all the 80s, so we will do some metal, but we also do we do pop and rock and club and new wave and lots of different things in between. And so I really wanted to make sure that our look reflected that. It was so people kind of got a sense that it was a play on the 80s, and also we just don't take ourselves very seriously. And there's a lot of bands I think that sort of maybe especially in cover band world, that's like try to be the band, and they're like, so there's a bit of seriousness around it. But we're in on the joke. We're goofy, and this is a hyperbole of what the 80s was. It didn't look like this. Barbie and the Rockers might have looked like this, or Gem and the Holograms might have looked like this live. This is pretty much how we go. So my wife and I are actually in the band together. She's the lead singer, and we sing together. But anyway, that's kind of how it came about.
How perfect. And I'm sure you get great reactions, too, when people see you out. What are those like when people see your fantastic outfits and hear you perform?
It's very interesting because, and especially so my wife being, she'll wear pink hair, she kind of becomes the Disney princess for our, so especially when we play family-friendly style events, it's like, it ends up being the attraction. Every little girl, little boy, just like, oh, I just want to be with you.
There's something about pink hair.
I know.
What
it's so crazy. I just get like left behind. They're like, no, I'll go for you. So anyway, but it's really the reactions are great, because I think sometimes it's the sense of, I think the people respond to someone who actually shows some energy and interest in really trying to make it an overall experience. So we want people to, when they come to our shows, to be kind of immersed in the 80s, so they sort of, we literally use those words, turn back time. We want them to turn back time a bit and sort of escape. There's a lot sometimes in the world that needs a little bit of escapism in a good way, and this is what we try to do. So we kind of just immerse them back in it, so they forget all your troubles for a bit, and we're going to have a lot of fun for a couple hours together.
Yeah, take it back to the good times of the 80s.
Yes, when everything was perfect back in the 80s.
Okay, maybe not exactly that, Dan, but I get what you mean.
No political divisions. Everything was harmony and wonderful.
Well, you know, I wasn't there, but I'm just going to take your word for that. But so, Dan, let's talk a little bit about Mishawaka RetroFest and what that might look like for anybody who's looking to come out this weekend.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We're going to be holding this on the Ironworks Plaza in Mishawaka, and this is going to be I think just a really fun experience for all families, for families to come together.
So it's a family event, too.
Family-friendly event. There's going to be, so we'll have actually 4 different musical acts. So we start with Jake from Starheart is going to be there doing their 60s set, which is great. So he's going to be all hippied out, which will be a lot of fun.
Perfect.
And then we have a 70s band that's playback. Those are their local guys that are going to trio that's going to play as well. Then we play and represent the 80s.
Oh, I was hoping. I was hoping that you were going to.
Yep. So we play the 80s around 6:30, just to kind of give you guys the lay of the land. So it's from 4 to 11 p.m. But so at 6:30 we play. And then at 9 p.m., good friends of ours from Springfield, Illinois, called Fool House instead of Full House.
Oh,
and it's Fool House. They're going to be playing for the 90s and do the 90s thing at the end. So we're bringing lots of big production. So our friends from that band are actually bringing their large lighting and video wall system, and it's going to be just a cool. It's going to feel like a full legit festival, which is great. And it's about time, I guess, to actually have a festival in Mishawaka that is like, I guess, really a big as I think the town can hold, which is great.
And totally immersive too, which I think is so important. Like you were saying, really turning back time, making people feel like they've been there. So if people want to get tickets, how can they do that?
Yeah, so it's MishawakaRetrofest.com. is the way to do that, and tickets are only $5 a piece, so it's really reasonable for that much entertainment. We have some really great sponsors. Just a shout out to all of our sponsors. Everything, our lead sponsor being Social Cantina, which is really locally right there in the plaza. Bloomington-based business, which has just been really supportive for us. A couple cool highlights real fast is we've got so Combi Keg out of Buchanan, Michigan, has their retro-looking VW van, an old-style van that's formatted with taps in it, and so that's going to be for the adult beverages. Will be as part of that, so that's kind of a cool-looking thing. And then the Party Trailer Arcade is going to have their whole setup, level 3, which is like a 30-foot trailer full of arcade games, and those are going to be offered, and I believe it's for free. So it's
I know
great.
that's totally 80s
so
too.
It's totally 80s.
So that'll be perfect. And we want to get you all that information so you can check out Mishawaka RetroFest, see the 1985, see Dan playing up there on Saturday, June 17th, 4 to 11 p.m. Visit their website and visit Dan's website as well for the 1985.